Okay, everyone, I'm back for my 4th review in my Royal Rumble review series. This is the 1991 Royal Rumble. It was on January the 19th, 1991, from the Miami Arena in Miami, Florida. This was kind of an over-patriotic Royal Rumble because we had just started, the first Gulf War was in effect, so that played a lot. But how good was this, or how bad was it? Well, so I'm about to give you my thoughts on it. So our opening contest is the Rockers versus the Orient Express. This is a very good tag team match. I mean, very good. Probably one of the top 10 Royal Rumble matches ever, in terms of that are not Royal Rumble matches. This is a 4-star match. I don't give 5 stars away easy, so but this is a very good match. Again, a lot of the tag matches I'm going to talk about are probably better than the majority of them today, because this is a very good tag match. It's a 4-star match, and the Rockers won. And it's really a shame that the Rockers never officially won a tag team title, because if you really think about it, they did win a tag team title, but the title was null and voided because the top rope broke, and there was because the top rope broke, and it was deemed unsafe, so the title was null and void, and they never officially won a tag team title together. They did in the AWA as the Midnight Rockers, but in WWE they didn't win the tag team titles together, but very good match. Our second match is the Big Boss Man versus the Barbarian. Storyline going into this match was the Big Boss Man, to get Bobby Heenan, had to defeat every member of the Perfect Family, of the Heenan family, and then he'd face Mr. Perfect at WrestleMania. He does that, and this isn't really a good match at all, so it's not even a good match, so I'm going to say it's a half-star match, if that, so not much there. Next match is the Ultimate Warrior versus Sergeant Slaughter for the WWF, at the time, WWE Championship. This is a good match, but again, Slaughter was being used at the tipping point to kick off the Ultimate Warrior Randy Savage at WrestleMania 7. That can sometimes, in my opinion, hurt that can hurt the match that can hurt the match, because you got the guy who's going for your main title, and the match isn't even about him. The match is about building up the Savage Warrior. In fact, the finish comes when Savage cracks the Warrior with the scepter, Slaughter drops the elbow, gets the win. It's not a bad match. If I had to go to star rating, 3. Because the finish was the kind of finish you had to have when the Ultimate Warrior lost. When the Ultimate Warrior lost, he couldn't lose clean. It made him look too weak. So, if he has to lose, he has to have some kind of shenanigans, so to speak, in the match. But it was a very good match. I mean, it wasn't that great, but it wasn't bad, so 3-star there. Our next match is a match that, quite frankly, again, if you don't have the anthology, you didn't see on VHS. It's Koko B Ware versus the Mountie. This match wasn't anything, so go on. I'm not even going to rate up a star rating. No stars, not even a half a star. Bad match. Next. Then we get the match in which it's Dusty and Dustin Rhodes versus the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase, and Virgil. Roddy Piper kept huffing up Virgil about getting away from DiBiase for this match. And eventually he accidentally decks DiBiase, but DiBiase still wins because off a roll with a distraction from Dusty Rhodes. On Dusty Rhodes. The match itself is good. The match itself is a very good match. What happened after the match was what this match is most remembered for, and that is the breakup of Ted DiBiase and Virgil, which led to their match WrestleMania 7. But the thing is, how do you take a guy like Virgil, who had been the bodyguard to such a villainous person like Ted DiBiase, and how do you get him over to the crowd? Well, you have him get fed up with DiBiase, he cracks him with the $1 Million title, and he leads to a standing ovation. That's the way to make a babyface. And And again, you have to set up, and again, this sets up Virgil and DiBiase WrestleMania 7. So it did what it did. And as a match, I give it 3 stars with what happened in the finish. So then we get some fan well wishes to the troops overseas. That's all well and nice. I have nothing against the United States military. But has anyone ever stopped to think sometimes when we do this, what people watching in other countries of this pay-per-view think? Now, every country will tout their military, but I just wonder sometimes about that, looking back now. So then we get to what should be always the main event, unless there's a very extenuating circumstance. And that is the match in which we have the 30-man Royal Rumble match. Bret Hart is, of course, number 1, Dino Bravo is number 2, and Greg Valentine is number 3, and he eliminates Dino Bravo. Rick Martel comes in number 6, and the most interesting thing about Martel and Valentine is they will be in this match for the majority of the match. Valentine for 45 minutes, Valentine for 45 minutes, and Martel for 53 minutes and 15 seconds, I believe, which is the endurance record for this. Ironically, Rick Martel never could capitalize on this with anything, but he was the longest lasting in Iron Man, so to speak, at 53 minutes and 14 seconds. The official shortest superstar lasting superstar in this match is Bushwhacker Luke at 4.8. This is also the very noble Royal Rumble, as it's the Royal Rumble debut of The Undertaker, and he eliminated 3 people in this Royal Rumble. He eliminated Bret Hart, the British Bulldog, and Jimmy Superfly Snuka. Or no, he eliminated Bret Hart, the British Bulldog, and the Texas Tornado, who had also gone about 20-plus minutes. Tito Santana and Hercules go over 25 each. So there were a lot of long-lasting guys here. Shane Douglas went close to a half hour, I believe. So there were a lot of long-lasting superstars here. The final 4 are the British Bulldog, and they're number 14 and have been in about a half hour. Brian Knobbs and Nasty Boys who are number 28. Earthquake at number 22, and Hulk Hogan who went at number 24. Number down from his appearance the year before. Earthquake and Knobbs eliminate the Bulldog. Hogan eliminates Knobbs with a big foot. And we get a thing between Earthquake and Hogan, and then Hogan eliminates Earthquake to win the Royal Rumble. Hogan, of course, would go on to face Sergeant Slaughter at WrestleMania 7. Marking the first time that the Rumble winner met the WWE Champion at WrestleMania. Now, this officially this wasn't for that, but Hogan got the match anyway. And they used a interview with Gene Okerlund to set this up. About Sergeant Slaughter facing American flag and how Hogan had dedicated this match to everyone in to the armed forces in the Persian Gulf. So Hogan won the Royal Rumble, his 2nd straight Rumble, although it really should have been his first Rumble win. Because 1990, really, if you wanted to help make people believe that the Warrior could beat Hogan, Warrior should have won the Royal Rumble. Because it would have made it more believable that he could have beat Hogan. But Hogan did not, and anyway, Hogan was WWE Champion anyway in 1990. He didn't need the Rumble win. Warrior probably could have used it a tad bit more than Hogan, but, yeah, so. Overall, this pay-per-view is probably about a 7, and so it's above average. But again, you have to think, there's a 4-star opener, a half-star match, a half-star second match, if you're generous. Then there's a 3-star championship match, nothing for Beware and the Mountie, and then I'm giving the Rumble a 2.5 stars. Which, you know, it's not good, but it's not bad. So, all in all, it's a 7 or a 70%, which would be a C, I believe, which would be a C in letter grading. Next up is Royal Rumble 1993. It's Royal Rumble 1992, which is one of the greatest Royal Rumble events in the history of the WWE. So, that'll be uploaded in just a few minutes. If you like this video, hit the like button. Feel free to subscribe, and thanks for watching.